Well, hello everyone and welcome. As you're getting logged in, we're going to let you check your audio, make sure you can see our slides, and then Sonia's going to be kicking us off here. We want to welcome you to the Mastering Cold Calling Techniques. So, Sonia, we have a great attendance for this. I said we were close to 80 that are registered, so good job, everyone. And so, Sonia, anytime you want to go ahead and get started, you can go ahead and do that because we have a lot of information to cover today.
Sounds great. Thank you, Ginger. My name is Sonia Sonner, and I'm the account manager for Maryland for Arch Mortgage Insurance. So welcome, Presidential Bank Mortgage Originators and Real Estate Partners. Arch is really excited to be hosting this webinar for you. We appreciate your partnership with us. And so it's my pleasure to introduce Ginger Bell. She's a powerhouse in the world of leadership, educational marketing, and AI. With over 25 years of experience, including her early work as a Dale Carnegie training consultant, Ginger has become a sought-after speaker and thought leader. She is the organizer and lead author of Leadership Today and the best-selling author of 15 books. Her achievements include an Emmy for her Folds of Honor documentary and a Telly Award for media contributions. Recognized as one of mortgage banking's most powerful women and elite women of lending, Ginger's impact and insights are truly transformative. Please join me in welcoming Ginger Bell.
Thank you, Sonia, and thank you to John French and Presidential Bank Mortgage for inviting all of you on. I know we have a mix today of both loan officers and real estate agents. So I'm going to be covering information on both today. As you're getting logged in, you can listen on your computer, listen on your phone, however you are. If you do have questions as we go along today, you can either type it in the question box or type it in the chat box. And I'm going to save questions to the very end, unless I see like a searing recurring question and I need to address something. But go ahead and type them there. And I always like to just test and make sure that everyone can hear me okay. I'm actually calling in from Portland, Oregon on the West Coast, so it's very early for us right here. And I'm just now finishing my cup of coffee, so hopefully I don't have too much of a frog in my voice today. But let's go ahead and check the panel and check the comments, the questions, and everything. And if you can just all type in to the chat box or the Q&A box and just let me know how you're doing as far as making cold calls. So how you're doing as far as making cold calls. And I see some of you already weighing in that you can hear me, which is what I love. Good morning, everyone. And so good. David says not very well. I hate it. Elizabeth, yes. Prefer warm calls. Bob, absolutely. Melissa says terrible. Well, that is why we are here today. And we have a lot of information we're covering. I was really excited when Sonia asked me to do this webinar because before I got into the mortgage industry some 20 years ago, I was a corporate trainer at Dale Carnegie Training, and we did a lot of training of overcoming call reluctance in our Dale Carnegie Sales Mastery. So it was really exciting for me to get back to a lot of my roots to be able to help you and to share through this. We do have handouts today. I posted them into the chat. I'll post them again later on, and then I'm recording this. You'll get a copy of the recording, so if you want to share it with anyone on your team, you can do that. And then I also have the handouts. You will want to get the handouts because in the handouts, I have scripts for you that will help you. And so it's important to look for those. I am going to send out all of that to you tomorrow. You'll get all of that. And Sonia, you'll probably do a follow-up as well. So I am going to launch a quick little poll and just ask everyone on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like cold calling? 1 being I hate it and 10 being I love it. So take a quick second, and go ahead and weigh in there. Just want to kind of see where everyone is, because it's definitely one of those things that we know we should do it. We know once we get into it and have a plan with it, it can be very helpful to our business. But most of us hate doing it. And so I'm going to end this and then let's look at the results. So we're looking at, we've got about 24% of you is a 1, 21% is a 2, 21% is a 3. We've got 3% that's kind of in between there, 21% that's 5. No one's at a 6. We've got a few of you that are a 7, and we've got one person that is at a 9. So and it's not surprising because that is very much standard response. And so when we look at cold calling, it's like cold calling can be daunting, and it's one of the least favorite tasks for many salespeople. And some of the reasons why include fear of rejection. And rejection is a natural part of cold calling because it can feel very personal. Constantly hearing no or dealing with disinterest, it can be discouraging, and it can lead to avoid cold calling altogether. The second is unpredictable responses. So, like things like unplanned interactions. Cold calling involves reaching out to people who aren't expecting your call, which can lead to, sometimes negative reactions. The third is the immediate pressure to engage. And cold calling requires engaging someone's interest very quickly, often in just a few seconds. And this pressure can deliver to a compelling pitch right away. And that's stressful, especially if you're not confident in the message or the approach. The fourth is lack of immediate results. Sometimes it takes time and doing a lot of cold calls before you can secure a single meeting, and this can lead to frustration. The fifth is self-confidence and comfort level. It takes confidence, it takes persistence, and for some it can feel awkward or intrusive to call strangers. The sixth is a negative stigma. And there's a stereotype that cold calling is outdated or pushy, which can affect a salesperson's motivation. Many assume that people won't want to be called or will find it annoying. And so that can lead to that avoidance. And the seventh is a discomfort with objections. So handling objections smoothly is a skill that comes honestly with practice. And many salespeople find objections challenging, especially if they feel unprepared to respond effectively or handle potential rejections. And so most of us feel very nervous around cold calling, and it's normal. This is very normal. It's the fear of rejection, the unknown discomfort with the unknown. But the reality is, and I pulled some numbers for you because I want you to look at the positive side of making cold calls. So let's look at, for real estate agents, success rate. And I have the links on where these stats were found. So if you want to take it to your team, you can say this is where it came from. But cold calling in real estate office has an effectiveness rate of approximately 57.1%. That's pretty high. And so you look at that, it makes it very effective for prospecting beyond your referrals, which referrals lead at 92.8%. And we know that. The second is contact rate. So on average, real estate agents have around a 28% contact rate. So this means that you can successfully speak to someone in about 28 out of every 100 calls made. The last one is your conversion rate. So it typically takes about 12 hours of calling and 200 cold calls to achieve one listing, one appointment, or one referral. Now, when you look at this translates to a return on investment of approximately $386.75 per hour, assuming an average commission of $4,641. So when you look at the positive side and you put that in your mind, it's like, hey, these numbers work. So let's look at loan officers. A success rate for loan officers, while specific statistics for loan officers are less readily available, I didn't find them as much, the general success rate for cold calling across all industries is about 2%. However, with targeted lists and effective scripts, competent sales agents can achieve success rates that can go to the 2% and even higher. The other is persistence. A lead typically requires 5 to 7 touch points before conversion. So it's that consistency that is very important. The general important insight on cold calling is the timing. So the best time to make cold calls is between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. The worst time is between 7 and 11. And so you want to put that into your planner. And we're going to get into planning later on in today's webinar. The second is response time. So contacting a lead within the minutes that they're tagged. So whether you're doing it on social media, whether you're sending out an email campaign, it can increase the likelihood of your conversion by almost 400%. Waiting 30 minutes can reduce the chance of conversion down to 62%. And waiting 24 hours, it goes down to 17%. So how can you shift this mindset to a positive experience? First of all, it's just shifting your mindset. So overcoming these challenges starts with a shift in your mindset. It comes with preparation, mastering a script, practicing handling objections, setting realistic goals. All of these can make cold calling a more manageable and even rewarding experience. Today, I'm going to share strategies to help you approach cold calling with confidence, persistence, and a focus on creating genuine value for your prospective clients. And it begins with some mindset tips. So you think about this. This is from Dale Carnegie. So it's visualization. When you're making your cold calls, instead of thinking of a negative, visualize a positive outcome before each call. Imagine the client saying, "I'd like to hear more." The second is preparation. Prepare for your calls. Have an outline so you feel confident and have clear goals for each of your conversations. It's all about the numbers. So, according to Keller Williams, real estate agents have around a 28% contact rate. So, we talked about this. So, 100 calls means you're going to get in touch with about 28 people. And while that number may seem low, when you're selling a high ticket item like real estate, where commissions can be in the hundreds of thousands, even one sale can result in a significant payday. So while the success rate of cold calling may seem low based on percentages, it's actually quite good when you consider the potential rewards. Remember, you don't want to see the forest for the trees. So I'm going to get into some real estate agent scripts. And as I said, I have all of these in a handout. You're getting a copy of the slide deck. You're getting a handout. So you're going to have all of these scripts readily available for you. The first is an elevator pitch. And the purpose of this script is for very quick introductions. Just allow you to introduce yourself, highlight your role, kind of open the conversation to discover potential clients or referrals. And so it's a great way to establish a connection in a very short period of time. And here's the script. Hi, insert name. I'm insert name with your company. And then the meat of it is this. I specialize in helping people buy and sell homes in your area. I wanted to reach out to see if you or someone you know, and it's important to remember, it's not just focusing on them, but it's also broadening into their network. So it's not just them, but who else? Maybe they know someone who might be thinking about a move or interested in exploring the market. Oftentimes, and I've seen this many times, when you call someone, it's like, hey, it's not for me, but you know what? My neighbors is talking about doing it, or my friend's talking about doing that. I'd love to introduce you. And then I'd be happy to help answer any questions or provide insights into local opportunities. So that's kind of the elevator pitch. The next is the approach of being the local expert. And so this script, it establishes you as that local market expert. It helps you build credibility, trust, showcases your knowledge for a specific area. It's ideal for putting rapport, positioning yourself as the go-to real estate professional for a particular neighborhood. So same idea. Hi, name, your name, a real estate agent, and get hyper local. Hyper local is so important. So if you know a particular area that you're calling into and you have that address, use that area name. and then going into your area, having lived and worked here for however many years, I know this market inside and out. If you, and again, or anyone you know is considering buying or selling a home, I'd be delighted to offer, and here's your value, a complimentary market analysis. So this takes away that whole selling thing, and it's like, hey, I just would love to give you a complimentary market analysis. People always want to know, hey, what is my house worth? What are things going for now? And then making it again that resource. I'd love to be a resource for you, provide guidance, even if it's just exploratory at this stage. That's it. So take that off, just let them know you're here to help. The next script is a referral script, and this maintains the relationship that you have with past clients. So this is not so much a cold call, but you're looking for referrals. And it's a way for you to just make a phone call, have that friendly touch point, remind them of your services, and then encourage them to pass your name along. So again, calling them, hi, use their name. I was just thinking about you, wanted to check in and see how things are going. Also, I'm reaching out to see if you might know anyone who's thinking about buying or selling a home. And then sharing your referral would mean a lot to me. I'd be happy to offer the same great service I provided for you. That's it. Super simple. And you can touch base with them, find out how they're doing. The past client check-in. So this is just not so much for the referral, but just a check-in to reconnect with them. And then stay top of mind for referrals. That's the main thing. Oftentimes, you're not at that top of mind. So this is a way for you to stay top of mind. And again, here's that script. Hi, client's name. It's your name. It's been a while since we last connected. I wanted to see how you're settling in. By the way, if you know anyone looking to make a move, I'd be honored if you'd keep me in mind. And of course, I'm here as a resource if you ever have questions about the market. That's it. Now, I love this script, and this is a good what I call a farming script. And if you're out there and you see those FSBO properties, and are you guys seeing a lot of those? I'm in Portland. I can't say we're seeing a lot of those, depending on some areas. Some people are thinking that they'll go it alone. So type in the chat. Let me know if you are seeing some FSBO properties. If you are, this is a great script to use to engage with homeowners that are trying to do it on their own. And so the script is hi, and if you know their name, you can use their name. If not, you can, just introduce yourself. I noticed your home is listed as for sale by owner. I wanted to offer my support. So again, you're not selling anything. You say, hey, can I help you out? Selling a home can be a complex process, and I've helped many homeowners in similar situations successfully close at a great price. Hey, if you're open to it, be happy to come by for a free market analysis. And again, you're just doing that free market analysis. It's about setting up that appointment, building that relationship. There's no obligation, just some helpful insights to guide you in the right direction. So that's a good one. So I'm seeing Samantha. So you have a few in Georgia. Okay, so Samantha, you're in Georgia. So depending on the areas, we may see more of these. So this is a great script to use. Now, this is a script for just listed and just sold. And oftentimes you don't think about it, say, hey, it's listed, it's sold, don't need to do anything. But that's a great time to make a connection. And so the script is just about that, making a connection, setting the stage for future business, and who knows where it's at. So the script is obviously the introduction. I saw that your home was just listed or sold, and I wanted to congratulate you. If you're thinking about buying or selling again in the future, I'd be happy to assist. And I know this market well and can help you make the most for your investment. If you'd like, I can offer, and again, that free market analysis and keep you up to date on current trends. The same thing goes for your expired listing script. So if there is an expired listing, these are great to be able to give a call, acknowledge their frustration, offer some new strategies, and it's that making that connection. So giving the introduction. I noticed that your listing recently expired. I understand that can be frustrating. I'd love the chance to discuss a different approach to help your home get sold at a great price. And so again, that free market analysis. And then the final script Similar to the local expert script, but this is the farm area script. So this is targeting specific neighborhoods or communities where you want to build a strong client base. Again, highlighting your expertise in the area, but going after certain areas. So if you can get lists in certain areas and sharing with them that you focus on that neighborhood or that area. You've helped many clients buy and sell in this area. I understand the unique needs of homeowners here and can help you make the most of your investment. And again, that free market analysis. So there are some scripts you can use. And again, you're getting all of these. You want to use them, change them, you can do that. So let's get into some of our loan officer scripts. And along the same, we have the elevator pitch. So that's introduction. Very similar. I work with people in the area, help them find the best mortgage options. So instead of obviously the buy and sell, you have the mortgage options. And going into the same information. Do you have any plans to buy, refinance, or explore mortgage options in the future? And not just them, but if you or anyone you know. And I'd be happy to discuss how I can help you reach your goals. The local expert. And oftentimes, mortgage, we don't think of ourselves as a local expert, but you are a local expert. So it's using that same. I specialize in helping clients in the particular area. I know the local market well, including the best rates and programs currently available. And so here you're offering a free consultation to explore options that might fit your needs. The referral script, this is going into your past database, and your database is gold. So you should always be making phone calls into your database. It's a check-in, see how things are going with your mortgage. Also wanted to ask if you might know anyone who's thinking about buying a home, refinancing, or exploring mortgage options. And again, oftentimes people, they have these conversations at, parties, at baseball games. And so it may not be for them, but maybe they know someone. The past client check-in, similar. So this is one that was maybe a little more recently. And so this one would be someone, the past one more recently, it's someone maybe you haven't, talked to in a couple of years. Hey, I know it's been a while. I was thinking about you, wanted to check in on how everything's going with your home loan. Also, if you know anyone who's considering a mortgage or refinancing, hey, I'd be happy to help them. Please feel free to pass along my contact information if you know someone who can benefit from my services. Now, for our FISBOs, so same thing, refinance opportunity. We don't often think about this. It's like, what if that property doesn't sell? Maybe they need to refinance. But if they are selling a home, guess what? They're buying another home. And so then that's that opportunity to talk to them about mortgage options for the other home. Same for the just listed or just sold script. Hey, I saw that you recently listed, sold, or purchased a home. I wanted to congratulate you. If you're ever interested in exploring mortgage options in the future, whether for refinancing or a new purchase, I love to be a resource. I can provide a quick assessment of your options if that would be helpful. So again, you don't know. Maybe they don't have anything lined up for a home that they're buying. It's an opportunity to call and you have all the information right there. Same for the expired listing. Going in there saying, I noticed that your listing recently expired. I understand that can be frustrating. If you're considering relisting or buying a new home, I'd be happy to discuss mortgage options. So it's just setting up that conversation. And the same in the farm area script. And so I specialize in the neighborhood, in the area. So being that local expert, very similar. So when you're looking at using these scripts, it's important when you're having the conversations to be genuine and personable. And your tone should feel natural. It should feel conversational. It shouldn't be over robotic. It shouldn't be overly rehearsed. The focus should be on helping. Approach each call with the intent to provide value, not just make a sale. Be that resource. And then adapt to each caller. Feel free to tweak the scripts based on the conversation flow. I'm going to get into objections next, so there's certain things you can handle there and respond authentically to each person's situation. Okay, objections. This is where that whole angst comes in as far as making calls, because what is the very first thing you hear? I'm not interested. And instead of just saying, oh, okay, I understand, you want to handle that objection. And so this is a great response, and we call it buffering. So for real estate agents, the response is, I completely understand. Many of my clients initially felt the same way until they saw the opportunities available in today's market out of curiosity. So continue the conversation. Do you have any real estate goals for the next year or two? Even if it's not immediate, I'd love to keep you informed of the market trends that might impact your property's value. For loan officers, again, buffer that objection. Hey, I get that. A lot of my clients initially weren't interested either, but they found real value in exploring refinancing options when they were ready. If you're open to it, I'd be happy to give you a quick overview of today's rates so you'll know what's possible when the time comes. So you want to, when you're going through the objection, whatever it is, I already have an agent. Same thing. That's great to hear. I'm always happy to see homeowners working with professionals they trust. I'd love to offer a complimentary market analysis just as a second opinion. Loan officers, hey, it's wonderful that you have someone you trust. Maybe they don't trust them. Maybe they got it online. And so just going in and offering to offer a rate comparison so you can ensure you're getting the best deal. So again, buffering that objection. I don't have time right now. The natural response for people when they get a call is to have an objection. I would say it's like go into a clothing store, and I do this all the time, and maybe you do as well. You go into a clothing store, and I am a quick shopper. I know what I'm looking for, but the sales agent comes up to me and says, "Hey, can I help you?" And the first thing is that, "No, it's okay. I'm just looking," even though I know exactly what I'm looking for. So it's just that natural. No, I'm good. I'm going to find it on my own. And so you want to buffer that. And so saying that, I completely understand. Time is valuable. Would it work if I sent a quick email overview of the current market? So again, buffer that objection, move into the next phase. For loan officers, hey, I totally get it. It's a busy time for everyone. If it's easier, I can send a brief email. So giving that opportunity to send an email. If you don't have their email, ask for their email. Another objection, I'm happy with my current situation. Hey, I'm glad to hear that. We're buffering that. My goal is to be a resource for you whenever the time is right. The market can change quickly. I'd be happy to help keep you updated on anything. Would that be helpful? Oh, sure. Loan officers, same thing. Hey, it's great that things are working well for you. Many of my clients who were initially satisfied with their loans found even better options when rates shifted. If you'd like, I can keep you in the loop on any changes. So again, it's building up that relationship. Remember, we talked about it can take 5 to 7 touches before it turns into something, but it's continuing the conversation. And then the objection, hey, can you send me the information? Absolutely, I'd be happy to send over some information. Just so I can make it most relevant for you, may I ask a quick question or two about your goals? That way I can make sure I'm only sharing what will be helpful. And the idea is to keep the conversation going, building that rapport. For loan officers, hey, of course, I'd love to tailor it to your specific needs so that you're not getting general information. Could I quickly ask what your goals are with your mortgage, or if there's a particular area you'd like to explore? So, the techniques to handle objections confidently. The first thing is acknowledge and empathize. We call that buffering. So, when you receive that objection, acknowledge it. Show empathy for it. This makes the approach for the prospect feel heard and respected. And so you can see in a lot of the examples that we had, hey, I understand you're busy right now. Completely get it. And I respect your time. Many of my clients getting into that, many of my clients felt the same way initially. That's why I keep things straightforward and focused on their needs. Make sure you're asking open-ended questions that you can invite the prospect to share more about the situation and goal. Continue that conversation. It can help address their concerns. It can also position you as an expert. So an example would be, what are some of your main priorities when it comes to financing your next home? Or what are your thoughts about the current market of selling your property? Continuing that conversation. And provide reassurance and value. So a lot of objections just come from that concern about wasting time. So you want to let them know that your goal is to make the process smooth and beneficial for them. So buffering that, I totally understand your hesitation. My approach is to focus on your goals and provide insights that you can use at your convenience, even if it's just a 10-minute call. I think you'll find it valuable. And then offering a no obligation solution. And people often resist this cold calls because they fear being pressured. They have to make a decision right now. And so when you give them that no obligation consultation or a resource that can reduce the pressure, and you want them to engage, so it can make them more willing to do that. So an example for real estate, hey, I'd love to provide a free market analysis. There's no obligation. It's simply information you can use whenever you're ready. For loan officers, I can give you a quick rate comparison, no strings attached, so you know what options are out there if you decide to refinance in the future. What you want to do is you want to practice these responses. So whether you're doing it with someone else and doing role playing, we've got almost 80 people on here. If you have someone else in your team, do some role playing. Get good at doing this. Have them throw some objections at you and then continue that conversation. Practice out loud. This can build that confidence and it can also make it more conversational when you're responding. Also, smile when you talk. Keep your tone very friendly. Stay calm even if the objection sounds firm. A positive approach can often soften these objections and turn them into opportunities for further discussion. So, by applying these strategies, you can confidently navigate through objections, keep the conversation open for future opportunities, and that's the goal of the cold call. You're not going to immediately get a sale on a cold call. All you're doing is building a relationship. And it's only cold for the first second. And then after that, you start building that relationship. So I've been doing a lot of training around AI and ChatGPT lately. And so I wanted to pull in some ways that you can use ChatGPT for objection responses. And I recently spoke in Wisconsin for a company at their sales conference and did an entire thing on using ChatGPT to manage a lot of your marketing, but then also handling objections. And so if you can type into the Q&A or type into the chat box, let me know how many of you are using ChatGPT or AI, whether it's Google Bard or something else right now in your business. Have you started playing around with AI yet? So I see some of you. So Stephanie, yes. Samantha, yes. Miguel, no. Karen, yes. Okay, good. Okay, well, you're going to love this. If you're not into it, it's ChatGPT. I'm not going to get in a whole training on ChatGPT. But if you are using it or if you want to play around with it, here's some ideas for some prompts. And this is for a loan officer. And this is a prompt you can put into ChatGPT. And again, I'm giving you this. You're going to have a handout on this so you can copy and paste it in. And so this is a great prompt. I'm a loan officer and I need to handle an objection. I will give you the objection in the next prompt. Please ask me for the objection and the client's name before you begin. After I provide that, generate a script that addresses the objection, reassures the client, reframes the situation, and emphasizes the value of working with me, and include an acknowledgement of the objection, a value proposition, and a call to action. So the sample output, I'm not going to read through that. Real estate agent, we have exactly the same thing. It's just instead of being a loan officer, you're a real estate agent. So the idea when you're prompting is to get very specific about your role. And so whether you're a loan officer, let ChatGPT know, hey, I'm a loan officer. They're going to talk about mortgages then. I'm a real estate agent. They're going to talk about buying and selling a home. So let's take a look at this. I put this into ChatGPT and you should be able to see it. So the prompt that I shared with you, I just put that in there. And so ChatGPT comes back and it says, hey, I got it. Provide me with the name and the objection. So I put in there the client's name is John Brown. The objection is I want to sell my home myself to save on commission. And so here you see ChatGPT has gone and it's given that script you can use for the objection. And so it says, hey, John, I completely understand. You want to get the most of your home sale and saving commission can be tempting. That makes total sense, especially with the options out there today. I'm here to help you make sure you're getting the absolute best outcome. Let me share a bit about the value I bring. Selling a home isn't just about listing it. It's about marketing it to the right buyers, negotiating effectively, ensuring a smooth process from start to finish. With my resources and local expertise, I help my clients consistently sell faster and at higher prices than the average FISBO listing. For example, I recently helped a client get over asking price within a week. And obviously, whatever that is, you can insert there. Just because we reached buyers they couldn't have accessed on their own. I know it's a big decision. I'd love to walk you through how we can increase your net profit beyond what you might save on commission fees. What do you think about sitting down together to go over some strategies and see what could work best for you? So, does that seem like a great objection script to be able to use? And here's some other common objections. And I just kind of went through and listed some of these. Hey, I think I'll wait. The market might cool down soon. I can find a better deal online without an agent. Your commission seems high. Can you lower it? I have a friend or family member who's also a real estate agent. I want to sell my home myself to save on commission. I'm not sure what I can afford to buy in this market. I heard from a friend that the area might not be a good investment. Is now really the best time to buy or sell? So these are just some. Have any of you ever heard any of these objections at all? Type in the chat, let me know. So what I did here, and I'm not going to go through each of these, but I put these in to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT came up with the objections. So starting with, I think I'll wait, the market might cool down. And again, you can see this. I buffer it. I get it. Timing is everything. It's natural to want to wait for the perfect moment. And then you get into what they need to do. Real estate markets can fluctuate, but the thing is, there's no real way to predict exactly how or when. I'm here to ensure you're positioned to benefit now. So building that value. By getting started now, we're maximizing your advantage in today's market. How about we take a look at recent trends? So it's continuing that conversation. Same thing, I can find a better deal online without an agent. We're buffering. I can absolutely understand wanting to find the best deal possible. And then getting into the online listings and what they need to do, and then closing it, would you be open to exploring this with me? And I'm sharing all these scripts with you so you guys will have these. Your commission seems high. Can we lower it? I totally understand. Everyone wants to make the most for their investment, and fees are a consideration. And then get into building your value. My commission reflects the resources, marketing power, and dedicated support I bring to each sale to maximize your return. And then getting into what you do. My listings often sell for more because I invest in professional staging, targeted advertising, all those things you do. And then getting into that next step. I love to walk you through the full process and how it adds value to yourself. And then the objection, I have a friend or family member who's also a real estate agent. Absolutely, I respect the loyalty you have towards family and friends. It's important to trust who you work with. And then getting into that personal side of it. So you can see through all of these objections, very similar. I want to sell my home. We went through that one on the chat. I'm not sure I can afford to buy in this market. Buffering, I completely understand. The market can feel intimidating, and affordability is top of mind. So when you're getting the objections, the first thing you want to do is you want to buffer that objection, let them know you hear them, you understand, and then get into building that value. I work with a variety of lenders and have access to financing programs designed to help buyers to get into homes, even in today's market. So buffer, let them know they're heard, continue to be value to build that value, and then the next step. Would you be open to exploring your options with them to see if homeownership is feasible right now? And then again, this one, I heard from a friend that the area might not be a good investment, so we're going to buffer that. It's always smart to gather opinions on an area, and I'm so glad you're doing your research. And so let's get into that. How about a chat to review what the numbers say? And this is probably the most common one that you're saying, is now really the best time to sell? Hey, that's a great question. Timing does matter. What I always tell clients is that while the market fluctuates, the right time often comes down to your personal goals and circumstances. I can guide you based on current trends and your specific needs, whether you're maximizing your sales price or finding a good deal. With today's market conditions, I have strategies to help you come out ahead regardless of timing. How about we sit down to go over what would work best for you? So you've taken that objection, you've told them, hey, I hear you, I understand, but here's the value and here's what you consider. And so now you're aligning with them and you're getting on the same side with them. And then you're giving that next step. Hey, let's just talk about some strategies. What time would work best for you? So we've talked about our scripts as far as making the calls. We've talked about handling objections. And this is where a lot of people, sales professionals, miss. And it's the follow up after the cold call. because it takes those 5 to 7 touch points in order for a cold call to result in something. And that can, be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be a week. But you want to make sure and do a follow up. So send a personalized email, send a text within 24 hours. Let them know, hey, it was great speaking with you today. Remind them, wanted to share some information about the market. And then please feel free to reach out. That's it. For loan officers, same thing. Hey, thank you for your time on the call today. As we discussed, there's some great financing options available, might be a fit for you. I'd be happy to send over some resources or answer any questions. Let me know it's helpful. Then within the next 1 to 2 days, connect on social media. LinkedIn, most people have a LinkedIn account. And if you can find them on LinkedIn, you want to connect with them because you should be doing marketing on social media. And a lot of people don't focus on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is the most searchable social media on Google. So when people go to Google and search for you, LinkedIn is often what comes up first. So if you're not posting on LinkedIn, you need to be posting on LinkedIn. And you want to make that connection on LinkedIn if they have one, especially if they're professionals. If you can find them on Facebook and other things, but I always like to use LinkedIn. The next thing you want to do is offer value in a second follow-up. And this is done within 3 to 5 days. And a lot of these you can automate through your CRMs. You can automate them through texting. And so these are things you can do, and you want to build that in with a follow-up. For real estate agents, send a link to a few listings that fit their potential interests. Provide a market update. And then here's an idea as far as what you can put in there. I found some listings, thought you might like them. Loan officers, send a quick breakdown of potential loan products, interest rates, or buyer resources. And so, hey, I came across a financing option that might be a great fit. But the idea is to have those touch points. And then schedule a friendly check-in call within 1 to 2 weeks. And just say, hey, just wanted to check in, see if you had a chance to review the listings I sent. I'd be happy to discuss the market and help get you started. Same for the loan officers. I'm just reaching out to see if you have any questions. And then add to a monthly or biweekly follow-up list. So send a monthly email newsletter. If you're not sending a monthly email newsletter, you should be. There's lots of things you can do to connect with them, whether it's email newsletter, whether it's a podcast, if you're doing a podcast, if you're doing videos, do something to follow up with them. And the next thing is to create a schedule. So we've talked about our scripts, we've talked about our objections, we've talked about the follow-up, and then you want to create a schedule. So you want to have very clear goals for your cold calling. Decide on your objectives, excuse me, for each call session. So set goals like how many calls you're going to make, how many meetings you're going to do. Is your goal to secure a certain number of follow-ups? And then set your weekly and monthly target goals. Break down your larger lead calls and then make them into smaller weekly or daily targets. So like 50 calls per week or 10 connections per day. You also want to choose the best time to call. And so we're looking at between 8 to 10 or 4 to 6 when people are more likely to answer. Check it for your area, test and adjust. And then block out your daily time schedule. So choose 1 to 2 hours each day. Put it on your calendar and don't let it slip away. No interruptions. Make this time sacred for your prospecting. If you need to schedule multiple sessions, then you can do that. Consider 2 shorter sessions, maybe one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And then aim for consistency over volume. Do it regularly. Daily calls are more effective than sporadic high volume sessions. And find a pace that you can sustain and keep at it. It's like running a marathon. You're not going to jet out, at full speed. Just put it in. As you start doing this more, you're going to get more comfortable. Also, be prepared. Prepare a list of prospects before each session. Organize, segment your call list, put it onto a spreadsheet. You can use things like Trello to organize it. Keep notes on each prospect. Take notes on each call, including what their specific needs are. Take the time to really hone in and build that value that you're doing. And then establish your follow-up schedule. I talked about the things you need to do as far as your touch points. 5 to 7 touch points are often required before a conversion. That's not a lot, really, when you think about it. But follow up with every 3 to 5 days at first, and then pace out over a few weeks if they remain unresponsive, and then put them onto a drip campaign. You can use a CRM. You can use calendar reminders, all of those things to help you stay organized and consistent. And then track your performance, adjusted as needed. So record what you're doing, review it weekly at the end of the week, adjust your scripts, refine your schedule, and then also celebrate your small wins. This is very important. It's a process, and consistency is the key. And celebrate when you make that goal. Whatever that goal is, if it's just picking up the phone the first time, you can do that. The other thing is practice and prepare. So I'm giving you a ton of scripts. Spend a few minutes before each call blocking out time for practicing. Do, role playing if you want to do that with someone else. And if you can start with your easy calls, begin with follow-up calls. So go through your existing list, go through someone you know, ease into your sessions, then move into your newer or your higher priority cold calls. And stay motivated and accountable. Find an accountability partner, pair up with another agent, another loan officer, set goals, check in regularly, and then set a routine for re-energizing. It can be draining, so take some short breaks. Stay hydrated, keep your energy level up, smile. Even if it's just a 5-minute break after each hour of cold calling, it can help you reset and focus. So here is an example of a cold calling schedule. And you can block out time in the morning. Maybe that's your planning. And then your calls are in the afternoon. But think about what those tasks are. Logging in, scheduling your follow-up, sending your emails. It's not just about picking up the phone one time. It's about that consistency and that follow-up. Okay, so I have covered a lot. We have all of the information that's going to be coming to you, and I have the slide deck. I have all the scripts. Do I have any questions? I've thrown a lot at you guys. But do we have any questions right now that I can answer for anyone about cold calling? I'm seeing some of you have been weighing in about using ChatGPT. So how many of you are going to start doing this? Type in the chat box. Let me know. I do have a survey at the end to be able to let me know if we're all good. I see that, Erin. I'm all in. Melissa, thank you. Great session. I do not see the handouts in the chat. You know what? Let me throw them up there. Sometimes if you log in later, it doesn't show. So I am going to put both of these in the chat. And then I am sending these to everyone along with the recording tomorrow. And let me know how the follow-up is. Let Sonia know. And thank you to ArchMI and to Sonia for setting this up. Thank you to John. I know Brittany, you're on with us, and I don't know if you want to say anything in closing. And I want to thank you for inviting the real estate agents, for our real estate agents on here, for our loan officers. This is a great opportunity for you to put this into your planning session. We're into the middle of November, which is hard to believe. And so you're thinking about what you're doing for your planning for 2025. This is something you want to put in there. So put in there that you are going to add cold calling on a regular basis, put it into your schedule, start working on those. And even if you do nothing more than getting started with calling your previous database, that is a great place to start and a time to check in. And always remember, it's not just you, but anyone you know. So opening that up is very important. Very good. Okay, so the question, what's the name of the piece you did for Folds of Honor? So the documentary I did for Folds of Honor, if you go to, I think it's still on Amazon Prime, but if you go to YouTube and type in Folds of Honor documentary, then it's on there. It's about an hour long. And if you know Folds of Honor, it's a great organization, provides scholarships to the families of wounded and fallen soldiers. And it was a wonderful documentary to be able to produce. And they are a great organization that I enjoy working with. So thank you, Bob. Yes. Oh, good. You love them too. Okay. So, Sonia, I'm going to go ahead and let you close it out. You guys have a wonderful end of the year. Please put cold calling into your planning for 2025. And bonus points if you pick up the phone and make a cold call today. Sonia, you want to close it out?
Yes, thank you, Ginger. We really appreciate that. It was very useful information. Thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate your time. Brittany, I didn't know if you wanted to say a few words.
Yeah, I'll just say on behalf of Presidential Bank Mortgage, thank you to the referral partners that hopped on, the loan officers for everyone's time and engagement on today's call. We look forward to seeing how you put these strategies into action. So we thank you all for being on the call.
Thank you, Brittany.
Okay, perfect. And you're going to get a survey at the end of this. So if you can type in and answer the questions, there's, I think, 3 quick questions that can help us for planning for content in the future as well. So thank you guys. And hey, have a great Thanksgiving.